Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikkiphillippi. To those of you that don't know me and have never seen my face on your computer screen before, that was a lot of enthusiasm, but hi, and welcome to today's episode of Tea Talk. It is just me again, as you can see, and today I'm excited to go through and answer your questions. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, click this button right here, and when you subscribe, you will be notified every time that I upload a video. I upload a lot now. I've been on my YouTube game lately, and today, I am drinking an oldie but a goodie. I feel like I'm gonna fall back on this drink a lot, but it's because why fix something? Oops, I just threw my tea. Why fix something if it ain't broken, right guys? And this is the Paradise Tropical Tea that I'm drinking in my Nikkiphillippi cup. And if you wanna buy this Nikkiphillippi tumbler cup, which by the way at the bottom says I have to pee, you can click the link that I have in my bio to buy the cup. And that way we can all drink tea together when I do these obnoxiously long tea talks. So, to those of you that haven't seen Tea Talk before, the way that I do it is people send in questions and I may be doing Tea Talk with one guest, two guests, three guests, four guests, or by myself, and I just kind of go through and we answer your guys' questions and we have conversation, and that's what Tea Talk is really about. Not because I'm an expert, because I'm not an expert, it's about the fact that it's a conversation that we all can have, and I'm really a fan of calm, intellectual conversation, trying to figure things out and just talking. I like to talk. So I'm gonna go through, I asked on Twitter for you guys to send me questions. I got so many questions. So I'm going to go through and answer some of these questions or talk about these questions. At E the Insomniac, or Erin, hi Erin, what's up girl? I've actually known Erin for like years. We have both been on YouTube for like close to the same amount of time. I think she may have been on, no, she was on a little before me because she's someone that I got a lot of like advice from when I started my channel because she made a video about like being a YouTuber. And her question is, what do you think is the best thing about the YouTube community? I think that the best thing about the YouTube community has got to be the go-getter-ness that exists within the people that make YouTube videos. I have met so many talented, hardworking people on YouTube since I've been here that are willing to put themselves out there. That's kind of the one thing about, I mean, art in general, but especially about being on the internet. Uploading your stuff to YouTube is literally terrifying. And so pretty much every single YouTuber, even like ones that maybe I'm not like friends with or we've had maybe drama, I look at them and I just admire them because I think that it takes a certain amount of like chutzpah to put yourself out there and essentially like kind of embarrass yourself in some ways because you're just opening yourself up to criticism. And so I think that everybody's creative drive and like chutzpah is my favorite thing about the YouTube community. If you're talking about other creators, if you're talking about the online community, it's just getting to know people, getting to see so many different kinds of people. My mind has been so expanded since being on YouTube in terms of other people's opinions and beliefs and perspectives, and it's part of the reason I'm excited to do Tea Talk is to hear your guys' different opinions and stuff in the comments, because as long as everyone's calm and civil, I want to hear everyone's different perspectives and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my answer. Oh, this is good. This is from @Maya_Christie. And she says, any advice on standing up for your religious beliefs? So this is gonna be an interesting one, especially in the comments. To those of you that don't know, I am a Christian. I've been a Christian since I was like really young. I was raised Christian, my parents are Christian. My parents actually did not grow up Christian. My dad was like an atheist till he was like 30. And my parents kind of found the Lord, they found Christianity together in their 30s. My mom was raised around church, but she didn't really like feel like she was like in it until her and my dad got in it together when they were in their 30s. So I feel like so weird saying like in it. I just don't know what words to use. It's like such a strange thing. And so I've been a Christian my whole life, and I am maybe a bad example of a Christian, but I'm just gonna like say where I'm coming from. I have never really felt the need to stand up for my religious beliefs. And I'll tell you why. First off, I feel like actions speak very loudly, and actions are very hard in and of themselves to control. So I've always been one to really just, and also my beliefs are based on faith. I have never met God. I have never been to heaven. I was not there when the Bible was written. These are just all conclusions that I've come to based on experiences that I've had, things that I've learned, things that I've seen in the world, and just like what I I've come to. So it's all based on faith. So I also have always come from the perspective of like, how can I fight, or why would I fight with anyone or get aggressive when all is said and done, like, I could be wrong. Like, I'm choosing to believe these things. They make sense to me. I feel it in my heart, but I don't actually know. And I feel like the best thing for me to do is to just state my beliefs, that like when all is said and done, I have come to the conclusion that I believe that there is a God. I believe that God had a son named Jesus, and that he sent him to earth, and that he died on the cross for my sins. And that I believe that, and that's what I've chosen to believe. That's the conclusion I've come to. But that if you have a different belief, that's okay, and that's understandable. And my job, I believe, is to just keep studying and learning and try to love people and live my life appropriately, if that's the right word. And that is hard enough. Like, loving people and just trying to take care of my own life is difficult enough. And people look at other people's actions. And on top of that, I know I'm going to mess up, and I know I have messed up so many times in my life. And so that's the other reason I feel very like cautious with my words and like standing up for my beliefs, because I just feel like I just got to try to live my life. And then if people want to ask like, what do you believe, or why is she operating like that, I can be like, well, maybe it has to do with my faith. Like, I believe X, Y, and Z. And that's just kind of where I stand. Dan and I were talking about all the things we want to put up on our wall. Side note, I might have said this in a vlog, and really things that symbolize our faith. And I think the conclusion we've come to is we're going to put something on our wall here that's got 3 hearts, because the 3 hearts are like my thing. And to me, it symbolizes James 1:27, which says, for the only religion that God our Father finds pure and faultless is to take care of orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. And that's like my life verse, and I think it's kind of becoming Dan's life verse too, but it's really something that like it just hit me a few years ago, and it's just sat on my heart. John 3:16, because it's like the crux or the cornerstone of my whole like faith. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And then I also want to get the 10 commandments, because literally I was like, I feel like the 10 commandments are just such a great like I don't feel like they're just a great, like, what's the word? Compass for how I should be conducting myself on a daily basis. But literally, if someone like had a gun to my head and they were like, recite the 10 commandments, I couldn't tell them to you. And I feel like that's a problem. I could tell you like a couple of them, but I couldn't tell you all 10, and I certainly couldn't tell you them in order. So I really want to put those on my wall because I want to see them daily. So as far as standing up for my beliefs, I really don't. I respect that other people have other beliefs. I think it is fine to have other beliefs. I don't really know. I just know what makes sense to me, and I want to try to live my life accordingly and welcome other people, you know, to just say join my faith, to come on over, try it out if they're looking or seeking, but to each their own. And that's where I stand on like standing up for my beliefs. So yeah, I'm going to open up my phone and open another question. I'm probably only going to answer like 2 more questions. So let's see. At Cindy Ojeda 81 says, what advice would you give to someone moving out of their parents' house? Ah, that's so exciting, moving out. So there's a couple pieces of advice that I would give. First one is probably, obviously pay attention to your money. Make sure that you are aware of having enough money in your bank account. Make sure that you are like checking your bank account daily and you're aware of that. I can't lie, I don't check my bank account daily, but Dan and I are really like tag team everything in life, and he is really on it with the bank accounts. But when I was gonna move out on my own, and then basically I ended up getting engaged, and Dan and I were like, well, why am I gonna spend money moving out on my own if I'm just gonna live with you in like 8 months? Let's just save the money and then we'll move in together when we get married. But when I was gonna move out on my own, that was something that I knew was gonna be really important because it takes money to live and pay for things. And so I'd say checking your bank account daily, being aware of what's going on there, and not being scared. I feel like there's a lot of like hype around how hard life is and how hard it is to be an adult. And it is to some degree. It's hard because you got to take care of yourself. And that's just, there's nobody else to do your laundry or take care of you. But it's also very exciting and empowering. And I would say to focus on learning, growing, taking care of yourself, paying attention to your bank account, and trying to be more excited than scared, because it really is exciting. And if you just discipline yourself to do the things necessary, put your rent date in your calendar, put all the dates that you owe your bills in your calendar, or set it up on auto pay if you can afford to do that. If you make a set amount of income, set it up on auto pay, and just handle your ish, girl. You can do it. That's what I think about moving out. I think that you will be just fine if you just have excitement and confidence and you handle it. But I really have this belief that money is not as hard to make as people think it is. I think that there are so many ways to make money in life if you adopt that thought and you open up your eyes and look around you. I think there are just, I don't know, but that's also coming from someone. I've been working since I was 14 and I've always had the weirdest jobs. And even though I get scared sometimes that YouTube could completely go away, I also think about my life and I'm like, dude, like I could figure this out. I've been making decent money literally since I was 14. And a lot of it is due to my parents really supporting and encouraging me. But there's just know there is money to be made and you can figure it out. Okay, last question. At Renee Elizabeth, what would you tell someone who has depression and bad body image? Any tips or ways to cope? Okay, so this is what I would say. 1, get active. I think that being active in a not overly obsessive, crazy kind of way, but just getting active can help you feel a lot more comfortable in your body. Also, weird piece of advice, but stay attuned to the things that are going on in the world. I know it can sometimes be anxiety inducing or depressing to be really aware of what's happening in the world, but sometimes it can also lift you out of these strange little obsessions that we all tend to struggle with, and it can make you realize like, wow, there's a lot more serious things happening in the world, and it can literally lift your mind away from that focus all about yourself. Speaking of which, also, looking for ways to help other people and just getting your mind off of you is really helpful in coping with any kind of like self-obsessive kind of thing, whether it's your skin, like me, or body image. I've also had that. Focusing on others can really help. And then last but not least, if you genuinely feel like, I want to get in better shape, or I want to have better skin, or whatever it is, take control of that and do it. I don't think that doing it is bad. I think that sometimes people think like, oh, like I just have to accept myself and love myself. And I think that's true to a certain extent, but wanting to improve things and take care of yourself is not a bad thing. And I think sometimes it gets a bad rap, but I don't think it is, because I think taking care of yourself can give you confidence and excitement for life and help you do better at the things that you're already doing in your life. So that is it. I'm gonna wrap this video up. I've been talking for a century. But yeah, be sure if you want to participate in the next Tea Talk that you use the hashtag on Twitter or Instagram, or you can leave your questions and comments, thoughts, different opinions, whatever, in the comment section down below. And I'm excited to just be doing this video series. And I will see you next week with another Tea Talk, and even sooner with another new video. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!